We begin in the Gaza Strip, where the humanitarian crisis continues to deepen. Over the past few days, international aid efforts have stepped up significantly, with both air and land deliveries underway. But despite these developments, the situation on the ground remains extremely dire, and for many families in Gaza, survival remains a day-to-day struggle. Jordan says it has airdropped 25 tons of aid into Gaza. These deliveries include food parcels, medical supplies, and other essentials. Israel has also confirmed its military has dropped aid packages from aircraft, and additional shipments are now being transported by lorry from Egypt, after Israel agreed to open a number of its border crossings. These efforts follow a recent announcement by the Israeli military of tactical pauses in fighting in 3 specific areas: Al-Mawasi, Deir al-Bala, and Gaza City. The aim, according to Israeli authorities, is to allow aid agencies time and access to distribute urgently needed food, water, and medical supplies to the civilian population. The response comes amid growing pressure from humanitarian organizations and the United Nations, who have been warning for weeks that mass starvation is taking hold across Gaza.
When aid is airdropped, it causes injuries and damage. They cause massacres on the street. We are coming here for death. All these people, the people who die every day. If 1, 2 or 10 boxes are dropped, all these people cannot take them. Only 1 or 2% of people get the aid.
According to Gaza's health ministry, 6 more people, including several children, have died from malnutrition. This brings the total number of confirmed starvation-related deaths to at least 133, 87 of them children. The scale of the crisis has drawn global concern. Footage released by the Israeli Defense Forces shows military planes dropping aid parcels over the Strip. A powerful visual, yet one that has prompted criticism from many aid organizations. They argue that airdrops, while symbolically important, are not sufficient to meet the scale of need, and in some cases, they say, they are counterproductive. Humanitarian groups on the ground have warned that airdrops often result in injuries and even deaths. One aid worker described the chaos as crowds scramble to reach falling packages, which sometimes land in militarized zones or areas controlled by Israeli forces, making access risky or impossible. When aid is airdropped, it's not a solution, said one Gazan man. It causes chaos and casualties. Only a tiny fraction of people can reach the parcels. The rest are left watching, starving.
Yeah, Karen, so we had this report from the Jordanian officials saying that 25 tons of aid have been airdropped in the latest round of these kinds of operations over Gaza. This was a fresh round of airdrops by Jordan and also by the United Arab Emirates. And we've seen that trucks are now entering Gaza. So obviously there has been this significant announcement by the Israeli military after days of dire warnings by aid organizations, by the United Nations, of mass starvation in Gaza because they say of restrictions that had been imposed by the Israeli military on the entry and delivery of aid into Gaza. So we still don't have a clear picture of how much aid has now entered Gaza. But again, what aid agencies are saying is that they are ready to deliver aid to the population of Gaza.
In many cases, desperate civilians chase trucks or packages, only to be met with danger, either from the fighting or from looters. In one tragic incident, medical officials say 9 Palestinians were killed and over 50 injured when Israeli troops opened fire on a crowd gathered along an aid convoy route in central Gaza. It's believed the crowd had assembled in hope of receiving supplies. The Israeli military has previously stated that it uses warning shots to disperse crowds near convoys, but has not yet commented on this specific incident. Many in Gaza, hunger is a constant presence. One local man, speaking anonymously, said, "We are not going out for food. We are going out to die. But what else can we do?" When a child says to you, "Uncle, I just want a piece of bread," it breaks your heart. It's like 1,000 knives in your chest. With tensions rising, the Israeli government has now announced the opening of humanitarian corridors to allow the safer delivery of aid by land. This decision follows weeks of international appeals and condemnations over the worsening conditions in Gaza. According to aid agencies, land convoys are the most effective and scalable method for supplying life-saving materials to the civilian population. But even now, only a limited number of lorries are being permitted entry. As aid trucks began moving through the Rafah and Kerem Shalom crossings, footage showed convoys of lorries entering Gaza. Still, there's no guarantee of safety once inside. Some vehicles have reportedly been intercepted by desperate civilians, or in some cases, looted by organized gangs. Local security forces, which are often stretched thin, are reluctant to provide escorts without coordination from Israeli authorities, fearing they could be targeted. We spoke to Imad Kudai, a local journalist inside Gaza, who painted a bleak but slightly improved picture. He said that while aid has started to trickle in, the sheer number of hungry people remains overwhelming. Maybe today we're better than yesterday, he said. But the trucks, they are being followed, swarmed, and sometimes hijacked. There's no control, no order, and so much hunger. He explained that many aid packages from airdrops fall into unsafe zones, often near military positions, or within evacuated areas. It's impossible to reach them, he said. We can see the packages fall from the sky, but if you go there, you could be shot. You could die just trying to get food. Asked about his own experience finding food, Kudai became emotional. We miss even the simplest things, he said. Today I had a piece of bread for the first time in weeks. I felt energy again. I could write. I could walk without dizziness. That was a good day. He went on to say that some charity groups and community kitchens have resumed operations in refugee camps, but they are unable to meet the soaring demand. The black market is flourishing. Some traders hid their supplies for weeks and now sell at impossible prices. But most people have no money. They rely entirely on aid. Meanwhile, just hours after the tactical pause began, reports emerged of an Israeli airstrike hitting a residential building in western Gaza. According to Shifa Hospital, a mother and her 4 children were killed in the attack. 20 others were injured, including several civilians, who were queuing outside a nearby bakery. The blast was unexpected, as the area was not listed as an evacuation zone under Israel's published safety map. The incident has shaken many in Gaza, who had cautiously welcomed the pause as a sign of relief. One witness described the mood. People thought it was safe to go to the market. They thought maybe they could find flour or bread. Then the airstrike happened. Now, everyone is afraid again. Aid agencies are calling for more than tactical pauses. They are calling for a full ceasefire, saying it's the only way to deliver aid safely and effectively. We're beyond the point of symbolism, said one UN official. We need unrestricted land access. We need protection for aid workers. And we need an end to the killing.
This, convoy is a bright food from Egypt to Gaza. Something else we can describe, and we have seen by our eyes from here, the sky of Al-Mawasi, the humanitarian planes dropping aid in the sky of Al-Mawasi. We have seen too many planes coming, but the problem is the most of those, packages have dropped from the sky did fall in militarized places where if you go there, you will put yourself in a very big risk. And those places are evacuated under the Israeli control. So it's really risky to go to those places where the packages from the planes fell down.
For many, the situation in Gaza now hinges on whether Israel will allow a sustained flow of trucks, hundreds per day, and whether those trucks will reach those in need without further tragedy. Hugo Bachega, reporting from Jerusalem for the BBC, echoed those concerns. He noted that while recent announcements are a step forward, they fall short of what's truly needed. Airdrops are desperate measures, he said. What's required is a massive land-based aid operation, and that can only happen with political will, coordination, and above all,
according to
a halt
witnesses,
to the violence.
an apartment block, a flat was hit by at least one rocket, according to witnesses and local journalists in Gaza. Well, now the Shifa hospital, the main hospital in Gaza, just released a statement saying a mother and 4 of her children were killed in the airstrike. The circumstances around the strike isn't clear yet, and we don't know yet what is the target. But the outcome is that 5 people were killed, 4 children and a woman, according to the hospital. About 20 people were injured because the debris were flying in a nearby a small bakery shop where people were queuing to bake some of the bread that they have made at home. This is just about 1 hour after the tactical pause announced, and it's in the western side of Gaza City, in the heart of Gaza City, an area not classified, one of the places where Israel asked people to leave.
The humanitarian crisis in Gaza is no longer a forecast, it is a reality. Every day that passes without a full-scale aid response is a day where more children go hungry, more hospitals run out of supplies, and more lives are lost, not to bombs, but to hunger, thirst, and despair. As the world watches, the question now is not only how much aid will reach Gaza, but whether it will come in time.